Naomi Egger. Welcome back to my show. This is the Naomi Egger Educational Show where we follow schools. This week's episode is another great episode as we have a lot to show you. Yes, I want to formally announce to you that we just debuted the Naomi Egger Library. It's our study library. It's going to be online and in person. We're going to be showing you a lot of benefit packages. Just stay tuned for that wonderful library that we have just debuted. And this week's episode on the Naomi Egger Educational Show is the school that we have been showing you. This school is doing an amazing job. Like I said, we have the library, we have the crèche, we have the computer science lab, and we have the students resuming and into a lot of great activities already. They just resumed and they're doing wonderful things already. And I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed by what they are catching up with. So stay tuned, relax, and be blessed.
It's a fresh school calendar year as Greater Tomorrow Academy welcomes all her students back to school, wishing them the best as they prepare to be nurtured into agents of change.
Hello friends.
Hello sir.
You are welcome to the computer studies class. This morning we'll be looking at the topic parts of the computer. You can repeat after me, parts of the computer.
Parts of the computer.
Now, right in front of you, you have a perfect example of what a computer system is. You have a screen, you have a keyboard, you have a mouse. Now, apart from the things you can see in front of you, we have several other parts of the computer. And before we even get to talk about the parts, who can define what a computer is? Okay, Francis, go ahead and define to us what a computer is.
A computer is an electronic device that accepts data as input, processes it, and gives that information as output.
Perfect. Can you please give her a round of applause? Very good. Now, the definition of a computer is this, like she has rightly said or defined. A computer is an electronic device. It accepts data as input, like she has rightly said. It stores data, it processes the data, and gives the required or the desired output, which is called the information. Let me repeat myself. A computer is an electronic device. It does three basic things. It accepts, it stores, it processes data. It accepts data, stores data, and it processes data. And at the end of these three basic functions of the computer, you have an information, the data that is accepted by the computer, that has been stored and has been processed by the computer, is going to be given back to you, the user, as an information, which is the output. Now, we have also mentioned two things there. The computer accepts input and gives you an output. It accepts input and gives you an output, which is your data. You must have at least a keyboard. A keyboard. Do you have that in front of you? Can somebody show me a keyboard? Okay, you can go ahead. Just punch something on the keyboard. Very good. Now, that component of the computer hardware that you have just touched. Now, for the computer to store data, and to process data, which are the two remaining functions. Now the computer must have the system unit. The system unit. Now there is something missing here. Accepts, stores, and processes data. There is something missing, meaning the basic functions will have to be 4. Now, if the computer is able to accept, store, and process, you must have an output, right? Meaning the computer must give an output, which is the information. Very good. Information. Your output information. So you need the system unit for that. Now, lastly, for the last basic function, which is the output, you must have at least a monitor. Like I've said, there are other components of the computer, especially the computer hardware. So generally, the computer hardware is usually classified into 2. Talking about the hardware components now. The computer hardware components is always classified into 2. The first category is what we call the input devices. We have what? The input devices. Then the second category, we have the output devices. So we have hardware devices that are designed to make the computer accept data. So I want you to mention those ones first, okay? You can go ahead. Keyboard. Very good. Joystick is basic one. The keyboard. Can we have others? Okay. We have the mouse. Input devices, output devices. Like we did for input devices, can we make a list of some common output devices, starting from the very basic ones? The monitor, very good. We have number 1, the monitor. When you play music from your computer, where do you get the sound from? It must come from a speaker. Very good. Like I said earlier, here we have a complete computer system that can carry out the basic functions of the computer. Now, when we were listing our input devices, we listed the mouse as an input device. Right here, I have the mouse on my desk, and as you can see, when I move the mouse, there is a cursor that moves also on the screen. Remember, the screen is the monitor, is an output device. Already, I'm having a feedback, which is the movement of my mouse cursor. Now, with this, my mouse cursor, my mouse is an input device, remember, I can decide to click an icon here on my status bar. Document, I can decide to use my other input device, which is my monitor, to enter characters into the system. For example, if I want to type a letter to my friend, I can decide to say, hello, Peter